What's up, everybody? I hope the camera setup here continues to work out just fine. Today, we're going to be talking about the Indianapolis Colts 2022 season, among other things to do with them. So, I touched on a little bit about them in the last video with the Texans, talking about the comeback win or whatever. But I'd like to get into a little bit more about them. So, first off, I'm done betting on Indianapolis. I keep thinking every year, crappy division, they're going to win it. And then the Titans somehow win it. And now that Jacksonville's come about, no. I'm done. I'm done betting on Indianapolis. Part of me was just so confused as to how this team, couldn't even make the playoffs. Man, I know the AFC's good, but, crappy division. I was like, great owner, great GM, really good head coach. I'm like, why can't they get the quarterback right? I mean, Andrew Luck retires, Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers at the end, Carson Wentz didn't work out, and now Matt Ryan, who was so old. And then you're bringing in Sam Ehlinger and Nick Foles and all these other people, and it's like, oh my gosh. And the camera's falling again, but it's besides the point. But yeah, and I couldn't wrap my brain around it. When the O-line was good and the defense was good and the run game was good, they had some offensive weapons, don't get me wrong, for a while. So how are you not winning your crappy division? And then I learned after this year that Jim Irsay, he's not what I thought. I was wrong on Jim Irsay. Jim Irsay's not a great owner. Jim Irsay's a pretty bad owner. I know that sounds like I had no idea what I was talking about. But I mean, Jim Irsay, everyone thought he was great. And this year, he starts just doing foolish things. Getting involved and having Matt Ryan get benched. I mean, Matt Ryan wasn't playing well, so what? He's better than Ehlinger or Foles. And then he fires Frank Reich in the season. And I immediately was like, Frank Reich, he's a really good coach. You can't fire Frank Reich. Sure enough, Panthers hired him as soon as possible. I think he'll do really well in Carolina. But David Tepper is sort of an impulsive owner like Jim Irsay, so we'll see. And it's a weak division, but he had a weak division before. But I digress. I think he's going to do fine. I think he's going to do better. Anyways, but yeah, these moves that Irsay, and after that happens, he puts Jeff Saturday, a TV guy who's never coached any position in the NFL or college. He puts him as the interim head coach. What? That's silly. Sure, maybe he can lead men. All right, it takes more than just leading men to be a competent head coach in the NFL. I mean, it was really horrible. They won the first game, embarrassing for the Raiders, might I quite add. But after that, it was petty, bad. Chris Ballard is still the GM. That's such good news if you're a Colts fan. I mean, he's one of the best GMs in the league. That's all they got going for him now. Bad owner, coach. They just hired Steve Steichen. I'm butchering the name. It's probably one of those two, but I mean, how good's he going to be? I mean, granted, Doug Peterson's off the Andy Reid tree. He worked. Frank Reich's off the Doug Peterson tree. He worked. Nick Sirianni's off the Frank Reich tree. He appears to work. Frank Reich's going to work, by the way. I just touched on that. So, Steve, he's off Nick Sirianni's tree. Maybe he'll work. I don't know. Nobody wanted that job, I don't think. Except first-year guys, so congrats, Steve. And the quarterback position, what are you going to do there? I don't think I believe Matt Ryan's going to be there another year, or he's at least under contract there for another year. So what do you do with Matt Ryan? Ehlinger and Foles, those guys won't start unless they're still on the roster and horrible injuries happen. They're not going to play any snaps at all in meaningful games for the Colts. I'm sure their new coach will make sure of that. So what do you do? I think it's time you finally draft a quarterback. You draft Luck, Luck goes, so you're trading for all these guys, you're signing these guys, none of them are working. I think you draft one. You're finally in a position where you can draft a quarterback. I don't even think you need to trade up. I mean, you're what, like the fourth pick? Chicago's not taking a quarterback. Arizona's not taking a quarterback. Houston probably is. I think that's about certain. You're going to be in a position to get one of the top three guys. I mean, Bryce Young's going one, more than likely. If not him, then Stroud. And then second or third pick's probably going to be Stroud or Young, whichever one didn't go. And then there you are at fourth, you get Levis. Maybe you don't want Levis. So then, yeah, you can trade up. You can trade up to get Stroud or Young, but either way, you need to draft a guy. I think you need to start over. It's time. Your O-line's declining. Defense isn't the same. Now that Eberflus is gone, don't really have any wide receivers. Draft a quarterback. That's my advice. Again, not a GM, but that would be my advice. Draft a quarterback. Will he work? I don't know. But, you can't trade for one, it appears. You can't sign one, it appears. So might as well start trying to draft him. Eventually you'll probably hit on one. Got good pieces, good coaching, which I'm sure Chris Ballard, like I mentioned before, great GM, he'll make sure of that. So yeah, Colts season in a nutshell. Disappointing. Continuing to disappoint year in and year out. I don't think they're going to win their division. Even if they're able to get a competent rookie quarterback in the draft with their first round pick. I think that's Jacksonville's. Other than that, I think you could finish second. Playoffs, maybe sneaking at the 7th seed. Who knows? But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this video. More content throughout the week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And see you.